Good morning, Trump's family. Welcome back to my channel. Have a good day, everyone, and God bless you. Alright, let's get into the news this Tuesday morning. It looks like over the weekend, Kari Lake unloaded on Katie Hobbs and Democrats and what they continue to support. Of course, the mainstream media continues to ignore the things that Democrats truly do support, because they want Democrats to be elected. Kari Lake, however, obviously, it's spitting truth here. She is sitting there giving the people facts about the Democrat Party, giving facts about Katie Hobbs, and how extreme her views are on things such as child transitions and mutilation on children, and things like that nature that Democrats solely support. They support the school system and doctoring your kids. They support this school system, grooming your kids, they support everything about that. And so Katie Hobbs, not Katie Holmes, Kari Lake, given an opportunity at the Trump rally over the weekend to go ahead and lay down some facts as a well-needed listen. So let's go and dive into it. Coming to it from over the weekend over here on Right Size Broadcasting Network. It was Katie, One keeps doing want to keep saying Katie Hobbs, that's good. She's running against Kari Lake, who is running for governor in Arizona. Absolutely. Everyone listen to this, Kari Lake said. Today our kids don't have an innocent childhood. Just look at this disturbing curriculum being forced on them at school. Think about it. If any one of us were to talk about sex at work, that would be sexual discrimination. You'd be fired from your job. Sexual harassment, but twice convicted racist Hobbs sponsored legislation to start sex education in kindergarten. Any adult who feels the need to talk about sex with 5-year-olds should be nowhere near a school, and nowhere near the governor's office? Right. That's not called sex education. That's called sexual grooming. Hobbs not only supports that, but she supports dangerous gender mutilation surgeries on our children under the guise of gender affirmation. If you don't believe me, it's on her website. I'll tell you what, I think I speak for every single one of us parents when I say hell no. Hell to the no, Katie. Yeah, absolutely. Kari Lake again, right on point with all of those points that you just made about the Democrat, especially Katie Hobbs' platform, and what she supports and what she's willing to introduce to children in school. There should be no sex education in school anyway. I don't want perverted teachers teaching children or kids or teens about sex. That should be remain within the household that they live in with their parents, not with the school system, not with our government, not with these people who cannot be trusted with children any longer to allow them to talk to kids. Teens about sex. And this is some big news. How is it that these Democrat political analysts, talking heads, thought leaders seem to be so deeply uninformed every single time? I mean, they're just not paying attention? I mean, we've covered very similar situations in the past before, always equally hilarious. Remember the time where Texas GOP Representative Louis Gohmert was doing a speech on the House floor condemning left-wing rhetoric during the aftermath of the 20 summer riots? Louis Gohmert quoted a Nancy Pelosi line from a specific speech. Everyone listen to this. Here's a quote, "I just don't even know why there aren't more uprisings all over the country, and maybe there will be." Or, sadly, "The domestic enemies of our voting system and honoring our Constitution are right at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue with their allies in Congress of the United States. We were called enemies of the state." Those are all quotes from our speaker. And left-boids online have lost their minds instantly. They attributed the speech to Louis Gohmert, claiming he's an extreme Republican calling for violence. Little did they know the quote that they were condemning came from their own party's House leader, Nancy Pelosi, and there were so many blue checkmarks, people who were giving their opinions following the news cycle every single day who didn't know that that was a Nancy Pelosi quote, and it was absolutely mind-boggling to me, because everybody who was paying attention at the time instantly knew that that was a Nancy Pelosi quote. Let's say we do a little bit of a quiz here and ask you guys who said this specific quote. Show me where it says protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful instantly. Pretty much all of you guys know exactly who said that. And especially back then, if you were paying attention, that was Chris Cuomo from CNN. Well, left-boids every single time seem to not be paying attention. And it's why they're so susceptible to fake news, trolls and hoaxes that in the end make. And we have another hilarious troll, this time from Representative Lauren Colbert, who baited the left and showing once again just how out of the loop they are with the current news cycle and what their own Democrat leaders are saying, setting up the blue checkmark trap. And boy, did the blue checkmarks funnel in and fall in directly into the trap, hook, line, and sinker in another epic online troll. Actually, another online troll from Lauren Boebern. It's not the first time she pulls something like this off. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on here. And then let's have a chat about just how uninformed the left, as a collective, seems to be on all of these issues. Alright, folks. So let's first start off with context. Joe Biden recently said this. Let me start off with tour Made in America. Made in America. Okay, first, let's start off with two words, Made in America, and other typical Joe Biden moment. The video subsequently goes viral. It's pretty much everywhere. You have to be living under a rock to not see it. Or you have to be living in a Twitter bubble, a leftist Twitter bubble, or Joe Biden gaps, or I guess the reality of Joe Biden doesn't exist. I mean, after the 2020 election, people were shocked at how incoherent and weak Joe Biden looked. They're just not getting the information. And so Lauren Boebern immediately eyes that as an opportunity to troll blue checkmarks on Twitter. She releases this tweet right over here, two words. Let's go Brandon, and the blue checkmarks fell for it instantly. David Hogg responds, three words. You're an idiot. Chip Franklin responds as Lauren Boebern. Dumb as dirt or just unable to count. Representative Casey Weinstein writes, that's three words. Vernaculars. Nerdgasm writes, who wants to tell her that's actually three words with a smirk face? Yes. You're so smart, Mr. Parnell. Achilles. George Takei writes, she can't count. John Cooper. Joe Biden. Brown noser. John Cooper writes, breaking. Lauren Boebern just completely humiliated herself tweeting two words. Let's go Brandon. That's three words. She's such a friggin' moron. Greg Ricard writes, two words. God, you're dumb. Senator Gary Farmer writes, check me if I'm wrong, Scotty, but I'm pretty sure that in addition to being absolutely inappropriate for a sitting member of Congress as three words. Not to J. Arnold writes, alt math. Amy Siskin writes, just here for the ratio facepalm emoji. Charles Johnson writes, how is it possible for a human being to be this effing stupid? Humanist Report writes, oh, my effing God, with a facepalm. These people are not paying attention. I mean, get trolled. But even beyond that, the funniest part of this troll is that all of these individuals are attacking Lauren Boebern as a quote moron or a stupid person, or an idiot for saying two words and then uttering a statement. That's three. They're calling her a moron when unbeknownst to them, their sitting president is the one who said this essentially, or made this gaffe, made this mistake. All of these people just showed you that they're massive hacks. It's a standard for Republicans and a different standard for Democrats, a different standard for the current Democrat president of the United States of America. What a dummy. She said two words and then said three. All right. Well, if Lauren Boebern is apparently a dummy for making that mistake, is that standard now applied to Joe Biden, who's actually the person who made that mistake? Of course, the typical reaction. These people are Democrat, Biden shills, they don't even know what Biden is saying. These people identify as political experts who are giving information, giving their takes on Twitter, and they don't even know what's going on outside of their Twitter bubble. We have seen this happen countless times. I mean, how could you not know? And for me, it really seems to be a left-wing phenomenon. These types of elaborate trolls never really happened against right-wingers when it came to Donald Trump quotes because people were paying attention. I mean, how could you not? The left would attack something that Donald Trump was saying. So you know what was going on in the news cycle and what the left was outraged about this week. And so it'd be pretty hard to fall for a troll like this. The left just doesn't know what they don't pay attention. They're living within their own little Reddit ecosystem. And anything that doesn't reinforce their views, their values, and their political and economic agenda is purposely censored and left out. This is why we keep seeing stuff like this. This is why they fall for these elaborate trolls over and over again. And this is why they constantly get things wrong, because they'll believe whatever you tell them as long as it reinforces their beliefs. And the fact-checking or the debunking of their bad information will never make it to their computer screens. I mean, probably most of these people are still completely unaware that the whole Russiagate thing was a complete hoax orchestrated by the DNC and Hillary Clinton's campaign. These people are legitimately living in an alternate universe and alternate reality, and it's why it's so easy to get them to fall for these obvious baits. And actually, what we were talking about earlier, probably one of the most ironic parts here, all of these blue checkmark Twitter leftist weirdos calling Lauren Boebern an idiot who can't do math, yet Lauren Boeber's outsmarted every single one of them with a single tweet, baiting them and making them look like absolute partisan buffoons, and also kind of getting them to on record admit that Joe Biden's an idiot because he can't count words. I mean, Lauren Bow, we're playing 5D chests here, setting up a legendary trap, which captured every single one of these uninformed leftist hacks, and how ironic it is that they're calling her an idiot as they get exposed as complete fools to millions upon millions of people on Twitter. It just keeps happening over and over and over and over again. This is why Mark Dice can do his street interviews all over California making fools of these mindless drone NPCs. This is why they keep falling for fake news. This is why they keep falling for these elaborate ploys and trolls and plots. These left droids are ideologues that are living in a bubble, they're living in a cult, and they'll believe anything as long as it continues to enable their worldview. What an absolute joke. Lauren Boebern exposing them all once again. Hopefully you folks enjoyed this chat this morning. Thank you very much. God bless America. Remember